We've left Martinique, we've got 460 nautical miles to go. Back up here you can see we did a jibe to get away from the land, and about here somewhere we lost the wind, it went completely quiet, and now over here we're back on the opposite tack doing 7 knots. So we've had a mixed bag of everything so far. We've just had another wind change, and we've put up a new configuration that we've got with the new chip and Genoa, and of course the boys are still doing their calabashes, but we've now got 2 jibs outboard sheeting, so our true wind is about 130 degrees, 140 degrees, the parent's at about 100 degrees, 90 degrees, and we're doing 8 knots and 10 or 11 knots of breeze. So she's really cranking along. If we can do this all night long, we will get back up onto our average after losing the wind earlier today.
We have reached 450 miles to go.
Here we are in the morning, first sunrise of our passage from Martinique to Curacao. It's been a slower than we thought night. Had to put a couple of jibes in to get south, but now we're back on starboard jibe and making a beeline straight to Curacao. We've got clocked off almost. In the first 24 hours it'll be 150 miles, so that's okay. Hopefully today we'll have a bit of sunshine, as yesterday afternoon there was not much sun, it was a bit cloudy, so our solar charging didn't charge the batteries totally, and we had to put the motor on just a little bit when it slowed down to bump the batteries up a little bit. The autopilot and the fridge freezer, everything else overnight takes a bit of power. But it'll charge up today with a bit of sunshine. So you can see where that's the sun behind us coming up, and in front of us it is still night time.
We've just passed 350 miles to go. And the picture is of Blake puking, which he did last night. It is just after 3 o'clock. We've decided to start cooking dinner because dinner ended up being a bit late last night. What you cooking for us, Blake?
Egg fried rice with bacon bits.
That sounds good.
Bottles so we can see where they end up and what they're going to do. This letter I wrote, do you want me to read it out to you? Hello, hola, bonjour. Dear reader, this letter was written at 1:01 PM on Friday the 25th of January 2022. Then it has our longitude and latitude. When you find this letter, please email carefreefamily@extra.co.nz, which is emails. And in the email, please tell us where you found it and what the number is. This is number 1. It would be great if you did. From Leo, Blake, Nicola, and Glenn.
We just finished making our bottles, putting the notes inside. We've sealed the ends and note, and I'm going to throw mine overboard. Blake's going to throw his over soon.
What did you seal it with?
Cheese wax.
And we're on passage with 150 miles to go, and guess what? The boat's a workshop again. We brought some new rely-on batteries, supposed to be the good AGM ones, and a Victron system for managing it, but I think it's doing anything but manage it at the moment, because completely out of power for the second day in a row. Even though there's been good solar power, they just don't seem to be holding their charge. And as soon as you put a load on them, they jump from 13.8 volts down to about 12, and it just all goes bad. It was charging on the with no navigation, because all that goes blank too. But I mean, we've got other devices for navigating, but the autopilot doesn't go. The engine behind the steps there, put that on, that charges them, but it runs through the same Victron management system, so not charging fully for some reason or something. So we've gone back to the old reliable. Out the back here we've got the Honda generator plugged into the boat over here, charging away at 25 amps, 30 amps, just chugging away, a bit noisy, but it's doing the job. So let's see if it fixes our problem. With further investigation, we discovered one of the battery cables was bent too far round a corner for some reason, and then investigating further into that cable, we found out it hadn't been clipped properly. There was only a short amount of actual steel cable into the connector. So we took the whole cable off and put one of our old ones on that we'd kept as a spare in the boat, and that fixed the problem. 150 miles to go. We'll be there tomorrow, hopefully before this time, 4 p.m.
It's time to take the number 100 off. Everyone else is asleep. To go. We have seen land. This picture is a man looking through binoculars. And we are at the 50 miles to go mark. We have caught a mahi-mahi.
It's our first fish since we got back.
It made a mess everywhere, but we still got food. And behind, well, in front of us is Curacao.
Just caught the fish. Blake's picking it up for a photo. He has no idea I'm videoing.
So this is us, our track approaching Curacao, just over here. You can see we've got 4.5 miles to go. And just here is where we caught our first mahi-mahi since being back on the boat. We had to stop, slow the boat down and reel it in. It's not a massive one, but it's just a good size. A couple of meals out of that would be quite yummy.
What they're doing?
Steering the boat.
did I tell you I broke my leg? I didn't take any video at the hospital because they did have signs up saying no video allowed. The hospital here in Curacao was amazing. It was state of the art, cleaner. I was put in the COVID wing to start with because I hadn't been cleared in. The Coast Guard got permission from the Minister of Health to allow me to leave the boat to go and get treated. But what happened is our toilet hatch window was open and we were putting one of the sails up and it was over the hatch, and I just stepped where the hatch was open underneath the sail and went through and have broken my ankle in 3 places. So I get a cast for the next 6 weeks. We've butchered a sock to put over it because everywhere I touched the boat, which is of white plaster. So that's to protect the boat. And I put on the cruises forums on Facebook a plea for some crutches, because otherwise we had to go and purchase some, which involved actually getting ashore as well. And a lovely gentleman here, Victor, said he had some, and this morning he dropped them at the beach and Glenn went into the beach and picked them up. So I now have some crutches so I can get around a bit easier. But hopefully I only have this one on for a week and I can move into a moon.
There's Coast Guard. They're coming to check us in. We're not allowed on shore before they check us in, surprisingly. Over here is shore. Is Dad eating pineapple? And Mum sitting down.
Doing more paperwork to get us into another country.
Paperwork.
And it's in Dutch. I have to learn Dutch. Glenn's getting his PCR test. Just had immigration on board. So we're still in the quarantine anchorage in Curacao. Even though the websites that we read before coming here said you needed to take a PCR test 48 hours prior to departure, it was actually only allowed to also be only 72 hours old on arrival, which meant that by the time we got here, they had expired. So the boys had PCR tests yesterday. I had one the night before when I was in the hospital with my leg, and here we wait for the results. So hopefully once we get the results we will be allowed to move around the corner into the normal anchorage and go ashore. In the meantime, we've sent the boys for some exercise and they're rowing around the bay. We've just received an email from the government here in Curacao saying we have all negative tests, so we can now remove the quarantine flag and leave the boat. Yay! We've just got a WhatsApp from the Coast Guard saying we're allowed to officially leave the boat. They are. They're very onto it here, as much as, you know, we kind of had to wait around a bit, but they've been very good.